A very good evening and welcome to the first round of the Carabao Cup, live on LFS. 32 matches tonight, lots to look forward to over the course of the first round, and we've already a game underway, a 7:30 kickoff, a couple of games underway, and the 7:45s are literally just getting underway. We have selected 11 fixtures tonight, 10 other games, and our focus game, Sheffield United of the Championship taking on League One Wrexham. Sheffield United, of course, relegated from the Premier League last season. Wrexham promoted from League 2, so joining at 2 leagues closer this time round. Wrexham and Sheffield United both got their league campaigns underway at the weekend with victories, and they're hoping for a progression in the Cup early on. But we are 170 days on from the final of the 2023 Carabao Cup final, Chelsea against Liverpool, in which Liverpool won for the 10th time, a record extending 10th time. They are the record winners of this competition. Liverpool, they don't join until round 3, of course, as do the rest of the European Premier League sides. The non-European Premier League sides join the rest of the EFL clubs in the second round, which will come later this month. We'll have the draw for the second round tomorrow night. Right. We start tonight with looking at all of the fixtures that we've got coming up for you. 7:45 kickoffs in abundance, and 3 7:30 kickoffs, so they will be ending quite a bit earlier than the rest of our games. We start Carlisle Stoke is one kicked off at 7:30. Leyton Orient Newport, Leyton Orient leading by a goal to nil, and that one at the top of your screen of our selected fixtures, Stockport taking on Blackburn Rovers, a Blackburn Rovers side who got their first home victory under John Eustace on Friday night, and they are leading early on. And as the man that has had a lot of controversy over his future and a lot of questions about his future at the club, Sammy Schmodix, has given Blackburn Rovers the lead in that one. We'll of course keep you up to date with all of our selected fixtures tonight. Bramall making their debut in the EFL Cup, of course, the first time in the EFL this season in League 2 from the National League, and they're making their debut in the Carabao Cup this evening. They take on AFC Wimbledon. They're just underway. Burton take on Blackpool, League 1 there. Charlton of League 1 take on League 1 Birmingham, so an all League 1 derby battle in that one. Birmingham, of course, got the draw at home at St Andrews at the weekend in their opening game of the new season. Derby, newly promoted to the Championship, they take on Colchester. We'll watch that one tonight. Derby, of course, beaten by Blackburn on Friday night, so they've had a couple of days to recover, and Paul Warren hoping for a better defensive performance from his Derby side tonight, but they take on a Colchester side who did get off to a good start. Fleetwood are our next interesting matchup. They take on Championship West Bromwich Albion. An interesting battle between those two. Norwich, of course, were beaten by newly promoted Oxford at the weekends. They are back at home at Carrow Road, and they take on Stevenage this evening. Preston, no manager. An interim manager, there's a couple of managers on the hot list to be taking over from Ryan Lowe, who left by mutual consent over the weekend after their defeat on Friday night in their opening game of the new season. They take on Sunderland, who got off to a winning start in the Championship at the weekend, beating Cardiff by 2-0 on the road. So Sunderland, 2 away games to start their new domestic season, and they won 1 at the weekend. They're hoping to make a 2 from 2. Preston, without a manager, as I said. David Moyes is actually second favourite. The former West Ham, Everton, Manchester United manager, of course, David Moyes, is pipped to be second favourite to be the next Preston manager. Mike Marsh is in charge of Preston this evening at interim control. We also watch Swansea take on Gillingham as well. That's another one of our select games. And also Watford taking on MK Dons. Watford, who set us up a real 5-goal thriller at the Den at the weekend, leaving it late to win away at Millwall, but they did get the victory. And Tom Cleverley looking to make it 2 wins from 2. MK Dons, of course, we head to Vicarage Road. And then our 8 o'clock kickoff as we watch Sheffield United take on Wrexham, as we mentioned. That kicks off in about 10 minutes time, so those games are from 7:45 already underway. Those select games that we have for you, just the 1 goal as I mentioned so far, and that is Blackburn leading against Stockport. That was a 7:30 kickoff, and Sammy Schmodix has that goal. Elsewhere, quickly looking at goals elsewhere for you. Leyton Orient, as I said, they're also a 7:30 kickoff. They take the lead against Newport. They're 1-0 up. Barrow lead Port Vale by a goal to nil. Colchester leading Reading by a goal to nil. In that one, Huddersfield 1-0 up against Morecambe. As well, Notts County away at Shrewsbury tonight. They're 1-0 up, and Tranmere lead Accrington by 1 goal to nil. Lots to look forward to then. Let's have a look at the teams then for this game that we watch at 8 o'clock tonight. Of course, Sheffield United off to a winning start at the weekend. Friday night, as I mentioned, Grbic starts in goal. They've gone for a back four. Femi Siriki, Harry Suter, the captain, alongside Austin Trusty at centre-back. Harry Boys is at left-back. A midfield of Ismaila Koulibaly, Owen Hampson, Anas Slimani and Sadi Peck make up the midfield four. Louis Marsh in a more attacking midfield role, with Ryan Brewster leading the line for Sheffield United. On the bench, Davies, Gilchrist, Hammer, Burrows, Robinson, Souza, Brooks, One and Norrington Davis. Of course, Gus Hammer, one of their goal scorers from the weekend's victory away at Preston. For Wrexham, they had a tough task on the opening day at home to Wycombe, but the Stoke Ras was pouncing, and Wrexham got off to a 3-2 victory in that one at the weekend. Let's have a look at their side. Callum Burton starts in goal. They've gone for a back five. Luke Bolton, Lewis Brunt, Dan Scarr, William Boyle and James McLean in that kind of left wing-back role. He captains the side tonight. George Evans and James Jones make up the midfield too, with a front three of Sebastian Ravan, Oliver Rathbone and Sam Dolby leading the line for Wrexham. On the bench, Howard, Cleworth, Barnett, Dobson, Cannon, Lee, Fletcher, Marriott and Palmer. So those are their options this evening. We have another goal to tell you about from one of our key games this evening, our selected fixtures, and it has come once again in that early kickoff between Stockport and Blackburn Rovers at Edgeley Park, and it is a second goal for Blackburn Rovers, so they lead by 2 goals to nil. So a very positive start for Blackburn Rovers, of course, looking to get their new season underway, and they look to be cruising through to the second round. Of course, the draw for the second round is after the game tomorrow night. We'll have another live game for you, Leeds against Middlesbrough tomorrow evening, and we'll have the draw right after the final whistle on that one. And as I said, any of the championship sides that are not involved this midweek, the likes of Luton and Burnley, who were relegated, they're not in the competition for this round, and also all the Premier League sides that aren't involved in European competitions. That's 13 Premier League sides not involved in European competitions for this season. They will also be in the draw for the second round, and we'll bring that detail to you tomorrow evening for that one. So, Sheffield United against Wrexham. His kickoff is about 7 minutes away so far in this one tonight. It's going to be an interesting kind of matchup this evening. Of course, Sheffield United, with that pressure that they are the championship side, they're to be one of the top championship sides for promotion this season. Wrexham, well, they've done back-to-back promotions. They know all about promotion, and they want to go back-to-back-to-back. They want to be possibly facing Sheffield United next season. That isn't out of the question, but we're not going to get too hamped up about that one. So we'll see them get underway very, very shortly. But first, to bring you to a Champions League playoff game. Of course, Champions League football is back. The qualification is underway, the third round of qualification. And we are watching one of the Scottish Premiership sides tonight. Celtic, of course, in the Champions League main stage. And they want their rivals across Glasgow want to join them. And they are taking on Dynamo Kyiv in Hampden Park this evening. Of course, Ibrox undergoing some renovations at the moment, so Rangers playing at Hampden Park as their home stadium for at least a number of weeks, and at the moment it is still 0-0 between the two sides on the night, but 1-1 on aggregate, and we'll bring you up to date if anything changes in that one. But it is Rangers 0, Dynamo Kyiv 0 at this moment in time, 1-1 on aggregate. The winner on the night will be the victor overall. They will face, by the way, the winner of that tie, either Twente or RB Salzburg of Belgium, of course. those two clubs, Austria, sorry, those two clubs. 3-3 on the night between Twente and Salzburg. It is Salzburg leading by 5-4 on aggregate. We'll update you on that as it happens. I do want to point out there is an issue on our graphics. Derby taking on Colchester is incorrect. It's Derby against Chesterfield. We do apologise for that, but we will resolve that. A bit of an issue, but it is Derby against Chesterfield this evening. We have another goal in our early game between Stockport and Blackburn Rovers, and it is a third for Blackburn. I haven't even been able to tell you who scored the second because the third has come so quick. Andres Weimann got the second, and you guessed it, Sami Szmodics got the third goal. His second of the night sees Blackburn 3 up after just 26 minutes. Of course, Stockport of League One, taking on one of the top sides in the Championship, or at least one of the former sides in the Championship, Blackburn Rovers, who lead by 3-0. Right, the kick-off from Bramall Lane this evening between Sheffield United and Wrexham as the first round of the Carabao Cup gets underway. That's next. Welcome back to the Carabao Cup first round live on LFS. We have another goal to tell you about elsewhere. A couple of things to tell you about elsewhere. West Brom are leading Fleetwood by 1-0. In that one, Mo Fall has got that one for the Championship side. And in a game between Burton and Blackpool, Burton have just had a man sent off in that one. Ryan Sweeney has been straight red carded for foul play. A penalty was given, which Blackpool have missed in that one. Ashley Fletcher missing the penalty. So Blackpool could have had a glorious chance to go one up, but at the moment it's still 0-0, but they do have the man advantage. We are going to try our very best to keep the date with everything that happens this evening. You can see down the left hand side of your screen all of our selected fixtures on the left hand side there for you to keep up to date with the scores and any key results and scores. We will certainly keep you very much up to date. On the right hand side you will see the lineups of the two teams for this game between Sheffield United and Wrexham. That will change to live match stats as the game kicks off. Sheffield United in red, white and black this evening, and Wrexham in a gold gold top, gold shirts and black shorts this evening for Wrexham. Right, so the two captains just sorting out a few things, sorting out the coin toss as we get ready to get underway here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United, their first home game of the season. And they're hoping for a victory against League One Wrexham, who have caused some upsets in the past. These two have actually met each other very recently in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup fixture, on round one to get the mouth watering. A Hollywood tie, to pardon the pun, shall we say. As we get ready to get underway, Phil Parkinson, of course, actually got to the Carabao Cup final 11 years ago in 2013. Lost in that final, but did get there. There'll be some job if he gets there with Wrexham, but you would never put it past the Hollywood scriptwriters to do that. Wrexham will get us underway here at Bramall Lane as we get going for tonight's Carabao Cup first round fixture as we get ready to get going. All the rest of the ties, as I mentioned, underway, and we'll keep you up with the scores and action from around all of those tonight for you on this Tuesday night of Carabao Cup action as the competition gets back underway after 170 days since it was last in play, that Carabao Cup final at Wembley. And that is the dream for all of these clubs, is a trip out, a day out to Wembley. It's a long way away, but you never know. You never know. Long throw into the box early on from Wrexham as Sheffield United do defend that one nicely. McLean just tries to get it involved, and they've got a body in the box here, and I have an early shot that has to be saved by Gerbic, and it was William Boyle that just broke free inside the box, chopped back onto his right foot and just tried to sneak it in the bottom right corner. It was James McLean that won the challenge initially. Sheffield United really struggled to deal with it at the back, and he just steps inside really nicely. Boyle drags it off his left onto his right, sets it up for the strike, and just tries to curl it in the far corner. And a really strong left hand from Gerbic. That's a huge early moment for Wrexham. And they have the first corner, which James McLean, their captain, will take in a moment or two. If the referee sorts out one or two issues in the box. Left-footed delivery by McLean, flicked on at the front post, but wasn't going to be a threat as Sheffield United clear their lines. A good early start from the League One outfit here this evening. We have another goal that has come between Fleetwood and West Bromwich Albion at Highbury Stadium, and it is an equalising goal for Fleetwood Town. They have levelled the game. Ryan Graydon has levelled the tie against the Championship side, and Fleetwood are level once more, 1-1. And it is also another goal for Blackburn Rovers. This evening, Stockport really not having a good night of it. Their dream of a possible upset is surely dying by the second. And it is Yuki Ohashi, who scored at the week on Friday night for Blackburn, has got another one tonight. And Blackburn are leading by 4-0. And there's only 33 minutes on the clock. So it looks to be a good night so far for Blackburn Rovers. Elsewhere, we haven't had any more goals in our selected fixtures. Of course, we'll update you if that changes. And of course, the Rangers game and Dynamo Kiev is high on our radar as well. You'll not want to miss a single second of that either. It's Gerbic out from the back. Suter to Trusty. Looking to lift it down the left flank, trying to find Slimani, and that one just a bit ahead of Anis Ben Slimani, and a throw into Wrexham incoming inside their own half. Sheffield United captain Harry Suter this evening has the armbands, has the experience. Here is Sebastian Revan to McLean. Boyle to Scar, back to Boyle. So Wrexham just looking to hold the early possession. As they're trying to play her from the back there, Wrexham, and almost getting caught out by the Sheffield United press, but they do just about keep the ball. So here's Lewis Brunt. The drive infield has to come backwards to Scar. Across to Boyle. He had that early chance for Wrexham. It was well saved by Ivo Gerbic. Nice flick on, but that was a good bit of tidying up there from Austin Trusty. Just didn't allow it to get past him. Of course, Wrexham are not going to want to give up too early, or give up the game too early to Sheffield United. It's all about riding this out and fighting for every single challenge. It's about doing the basics of football right, is where I think Wrexham will get the benefit of their quality tonight. They do have quality in the side, of course, but getting that on show is a lot harder to do against the top opposition. especially away from home. Here's one man that can help out, McLean. Boyle has to come back wide. So we have a goal elsewhere. We'll get to that in a moment. As Wrexham come firing down the left-hand side. And it will be a free kick, actually. Sheffield United there. Bit of a challenge on Sariki. And it will be a free kick to the home side. So, I can tell you there has been a goal elsewhere in one of our selected fixtures. And it has come in the game with the debutants at Hayes Lane. The debutants in the competition, Bramall. Their first appearance in the EFL Cup this evening after debuting in the League 2 at the weekend, and they are leading by a 1-0 against AFC Wimbledon. A fabulous start to the game for Bramall. They lead by 1-0. Just fairy tale story that indeed. Once again. A long way to go. Early doors, they've played around 21 minutes of that. We'll do a full half-time recap and round up of all the scores, plus before the end of the evening, of course, with this focus game being the latest game of the night, we'll have all the final scores from every single tie this evening. We'll run you right through them when the final whistles go. As City Peck there, just putting it out for a throw-in to Wrexham on the right-hand side. It's not the most kind of highest first 11 for Chris Wilder that you would expect to see in a championship game, but it's not disrespecting Wrexham. He has played a couple of youngsters, but there is a lot of, as I said, a lot of experience in this Sheffield United side. The likes of Gerbic tonight in goal, trusty Suter. And here's Koulibaly trying to break into the box. Goes for the cutback, and Scar was in the way, and he hooks it clear. That was really nice work. Down the right-hand side, Sariki played a nice ball forward and was breaking down that right-hand side. Getting into the box, not tight enough there from Wrexham, and Scar has to clear it away. As Sheffield United tried to go for the wide cross there, but that was out of play for a goal kick. Femi Sariki there, whipping that cross in. We have a goal at the Swansea.com stadium, and it is the home side that have taken the lead in that one. They take on Gillingham this evening, and it is Swansea who lead by 1-0. Swansea 1, Gillingham 0. We'll be keeping an eye on those kind of upsets this evening. That's what you love about cup football. The possibility, the kind of anticipation of an upset. A big side just not getting it their own way. And tonight, this would be a massive upset if Wrexham were to come away with a result out of this one. It's a deep cross into the box. There's bodies in there. McLean will strike. Well charged down. Out there. I think it was City Peck, or Owen Hampson actually. Close that one down. McLean will certainly, he's got that armband tonight. He's the leader in the side. He's got vast amounts of experience. James McLean, one that he will bring to Wrexham, not only in League One, but also in this competition if they do progress tonight. An incredibly experienced footballer and a level head. At times he can get a bit unlevelled with his head and his anger, but not always unprovoked. Goal incoming at Vicarage Road. Tom Cleverley's Watford left it late to win away at Millwall at the weekend, and they have taken an early lead at home to MK Dons. In that one, Matthew Pollock has the goal to give Watford the early lead. Swansea, by the way, they lead by 1-0, as I mentioned. I was going to tell you their goal scorer, but that hasn't come up on my screen just yet. It is Ronald that I've just received the information. Ronald has given Swansea the lead. Sheffield United have a bit of the ball here. Harry Boyce. Nice turn in the middle there from Peck. Keeps the ball, tries to spin it out to the right hand side. Well worked by out to Femi Sariki. Peck. Sutter goes round the corner, finds Boys out in the left-hand side. 10 minutes gone, Sheffield United 0, Wrexham 0. You can see the live stats on the right-hand side of your screen. All the statistics for this one. We do have a goal at Hayes Lane to tell you about between Bramall and AFC Wimbledon. And it is an equaliser for Wimbledon at this moment in time. As Sheffield United come forward, and that's the ball headed behind there on the cover by Wrexham. Corner to Sheffield United. Wimbledon have levelled, by the way, as I mentioned. That equaliser being scored by Josh Kelly has levelled things for AFC Wimbledon. So it is at 1-1 in that matchup. Keep you updated with everywhere else still goalless that I haven't mentioned this evening. Corner for Sheffield United, whipped into the box in the strike. Had a lot of power behind it, but not much accuracy from Ryan Brewster. Went skied over the bar. Really nice cross into the box by City Peck, and trying to fly onto the end of it was Ryan Brewster. It was a low the cross came dipping into the box, and Brewster just tried to strike it first time with his right boot, and it just took real pace and flew over the bar. Probably could have taken a touch, but that will be kind of anticipating and guessing, which you don't want to do. Sheffield United starting to grow in a bit of confidence. A lovely touch by Sariki, and into the box come a lot of red shirts, but the cut back is closed down, and Wrexham try and break away. Sheffield United got on a break there, and now they'll have to maybe be careful on the counter here as Wrexham just pass it back. Goal to tell you about at Carrow Road. Norwich 1, Stevenage 0. Norwich, of course, beaten away from home at the weekend by newly promoted Oxford United, but they have got on the score sheet early doors here. 26 minutes gone, and it is Norwich City 1, Stevenage 0. Abu Kamara with the goal to give the Canaries the lead. So 4 of our 7:45 kickoffs are goalless, and this fixture game this evening at Bramall Lane between Sheffield United and Wrexham is also goalless, but they have played just 12.5 minutes here in this one, as Oliver Rathbone wanted a free kick there, but the referee saw none of it and was having none of it, and there's an issue here for Sheffield United. They have a player down. We see this chance for Sariki a bit earlier on. He just skips away from the challenge. It's fabulous. He just cuts it back into the box, and it's well cut out eventually by Evans, who's on the cover, but it's a really good opportunity on the break there for Sheffield United to tell you about. And Sariki just receiving a bit of treatment, so we can update you on some scores. We have just had a goal at Pride Park this evening. Of course, Derby beaten at the weekends by Blackburn in their opening game of the new season away at Ewood Park. They're at home tonight for their first game of the season at home at Pride Park as a championship team, and they face Chesterfield, and it's not got off to a good start for Paul Warren's side because they trail after just 29 minutes. Armando Dobra has given Chesterfield the lead, so it is Derby 0, Chesterfield 1. Certainly not the start to the night that they would have wanted to. The League 2 opposition against Derby tonight are giving them a bit of bother. It is Derby 0, Chesterfield 1. Sariki back to his feet, by the way. He's just receiving that treatment, as I mentioned. A goal at Carrow Road. I said that Norwich had taken the lead against Stevenage this evening. Well, no sooner was that the case than the League 1 side are back level. Norwich City certainly not keeping a clean sheet tonight, and they have failed to do so once again this evening. Shrewsbury were the team that were beaten by Stevenage at the weekend in their League 1 opener, and they have got a leveller against Championship Norwich. Charlie Good with the equaliser. It is Norwich 1, Stevenage 1. Lots of goals around the grounds as we get back underway here at Bramall Lane, where it is still goalless, but Sheffield United, as you would expect, probably on top of the two sides. They've had they've had more forays forward and more possession, but not really testing the goalkeeper very much in Callum Burton in these early moments, which will be a massive positive, I'm sure, for Phil Parkinson, but take it in every 15-minute periods, not in a massive hurry, and they've successfully defended the first 15 minutes of this game without any damage being done. Right, a quick update from the Champions League qualifier, third round qualifier between Rangers and Dynamo Kyiv this evening. Of course, drew 1-1 from the first leg in that game last week, and both sides, the winner on the night will qualify for the playoff round to get into the main stage of the newly formatted Champions League that starts in September. The winner of that one we can confirm, because the final score has come in between Twente and RB Salzburg, and the winner of that tie between Rangers and Dynamo Kyiv will face Salzburg in the playoff round. But at the moment it is still Rangers 0, Dynamo Kyiv 0. So we'll update if anything changes in that one in the coming minutes or so for that one between Rangers and Kyiv at Hampden Park, as Wrexham trying to come forward there, but again have to come all the way backwards. Just taking their time at the moment. Phil Parkinson's side, as I said, don't want to give too much away, don't want to rush things, and certainly do not want to leave themselves vulnerable going the other way, but they have here, because they've given it away cheaply. Here's Ryan Brewster, plays it into Hampson in the box. Hampson across, looking to return it to Brewster, but well cut out that time by Scar, who clears his lines and puts it out for a throw to Sheffield United on the right hand side. But it was a cheap giveaway by Wrexham in the midfield. Brewster picks it up, feeds it out to Hampson on the right hand side inside the box. Hampson just tries to find the unmarked Brewster as he tries to return it to the number 7, but he couldn't find him in the box. Well cut out that time by Dan Scar, who's made a couple of clearances early doors for Wrexham, and so far successfully so. It is still 0-0. Lots to talk about. Lots. Absolutely lots. We'll give you a few updates from around the grounds elsewhere. At the moment, it is still Blackburn who are leading by 4-0 away at Stockport County. 2 from Sami Szmodics so far in that one. Yuki Ohashi and Andreas Weimann, 2 players who scored on their debut for Blackburn at the weekend. They're both on the score sheet as well. It is 4-0 away from home for Blackburn at this moment in time. It's still 0-0 between Burton and Blackpool. Remember, Burton had a man sent off and Blackpool missed a penalty. So far it's been all Blackpool, but nothing to show for it as it stands. Still goalless in that one. As Sheffield United have the ball back here with Hampson. Peck, as it comes all the way back around to Trusty. Looks to try and foray into the Wrexham half. Not intensely pressed are the Sheffield United centre-backs, which I'm not surprised at, to be honest. I've just seen an absolute sensation of a goal from Birmingham City away at Charlton. We'll get there in a moment. I will tell you about that in a moment, because there's also an update from that game at the Valley as well that I can tell you about very, very shortly. But here's Slimani trying to break forward down the left, tried to cut inside, trailed down, but the referee said play on as Peck has this shot. And that one just goes wide. Not a bad effort by City Peck, but that one just off target. As I was saying, Sariki has just gone down again here, so that looks to be his night coming to a close. He's already been down once. That's the second time he has gone down with a little issue. And it looks to be the end of his night, I'm guessing, because it's 19th minute. And he's receiving treatment for the second time of the night. We can get to the Valley then and tell you about Charlton against Birmingham. It's one of our feature games tonight in the first round of the Carabao Cup. In that one, League 1 Charlton against League 1 Birmingham. Birmingham, of course, had to rescue a draw last the weekend in their League 1 opener at home to Reading with a controversial penalty, let's just say, but they do have the lead. Brandon Kella with an absolute wonder of a goal that I've just witnessed at that one at the Valley. Earlier on, Charlton actually had the chance to go ahead themselves. Tyrese Campbell had his penalty saved in the 13th minute, so Charlton had a penalty, had it saved, and now they trail, which is probably the way things end up going. It is Charlton 0, Birmingham City 1 at this moment in time. in that one, so they're coming to a close. They're into the last 10 minutes of the first half in our 7:45s. They're about to hit the half-time in the 7:30 games. There is a half-time whistle gone in one of our feature games. It is Stockport and Blackburn, and it is Blackburn who lead by 4-0. Sheffield United have made a change here then. Alfie Gilchrist is going to be coming on, and Femi Siriki is coming off. His night is officially over, which is a disappointment for Siriki, because he's looked a bright spark so far for Sheffield United, but he will be no more, as he has just been replaced here. And Alfie Gilchrist, who makes his debut tonight for Sheffield United, joined, of course, is on loan from Chelsea until the end of the season, and he is making his debut with this loan spell here this evening. The 20-year-old from Chelsea, of course, did actually make an appearance at the weekend, but only for a couple of minutes there in that one. Right, his home debut, that is. He did make his debut at the weekend, but his home debut tonight. That's where I was going wrong with that one. I know I was a bit confused, but we get through it. We get through it. So it is still 0-0, and Sheffield United have made that enforced change then, which isn't the best of moments for Chris Wilder so far. And I have to say, to be honest, Wrexham have defended them quite well. 2 shots apiece in this game so far, which isn't awful from a Wrexham point of view. It's actually quite good at how well they have defended Sheffield United so far. But a few glimpses where Sheffield United can try and impose themselves from the wide areas, but so far not getting it done as of yet. So still goalless at this moment in time. We have goals to get to you from Carrow Road again. I mean, it's an absolute goal fest at Carrow Road this evening, I can tell you that for nothing. And it is Norwich who have retaken the lead against Stevenage in that one. I've got a whole list of teams. There's goals flying in everywhere at the minute. Norwich have retaken the lead. Onel Hernandez has given Norwich the 2-1 lead in that one. We'll also get to Deepdale, Preston against Sunderland. Of course, Sunderland won at the weekend away at Cardiff. Preston without a permanent manager after Ryan Lowe left at the weekend, but they do lead. Preston are 1-0 up at home to Sunderland in that one. And a goal as well between Fleetwood and West Bromwich Albion. I said that Fleetwood had struggled in the early moments, but they levelled the game, and they have done much better than that now, because they are leading West Bromwich Albion by 2-1. They've turned it around. Ronan Coughlin with the second goal of the night for Fleetwood Town as the League One side face West Bromwich Albion. It is Fleetwood 2, West Brom 1. And I can tell you the goal scorer from that Preston goal, Ryan Ledson, is on the score sheet there for that one. I did see another goal go in. It was at Derby County at Pride Park this evening. As I mentioned, Derby, of course, beaten at the weekend, and they face League 2 Chesterfield, and I said they hadn't got off to a good start tonight because Dobra had to put Chesterfield ahead. Well, no more for Chesterfield. It is 1-1. Derby have levelled it. Liam Thompson with the equaliser has Derby on terms. Lots of goals flying in everywhere this evening in all of our games so far. The only one there's a couple. There's only 1-0 from our 7:45s, and that's Burton against Blackpool. As I mentioned, Burton down to 10 at this moment in time. Blackpool missed a penalty, but it is still goalless as we enter the final 5 minutes of the first half in that one. I do apologise if we're not focusing on this game at Bramall Lane enough, but we have lots of fixtures, lots of goals flying in all of a sudden. They've all come in at once, and that was why. But Sheffield United have a free kick here on the high up on the right hand side. 24 minutes gone, still 0-0. You haven't missed anything while I've been talking about the goals elsewhere, because nothing has happened in that little moment of time. Sheffield United do have a set piece. Wrexham got their back line on the edge of the box. See if they can do something from this. They've brought up their captain, Harry Suter, and the man who has the captain's armband tonight for the Blades. Right footed delivery deep into the box, headed back across goal. Suter had the shot blocked, and this other shot has gone wide, and that was Slimani. I don't know if it took a deflection on the way through. It might have done. That wasn't the best of defending from Wrexham. It's a good cross into the box. It's a stooping header at the back post. Suter brings it down. Struggles to get it out of his feet. Has the shot easily blocked. It bounces back to Slimani, who has a left-footed strike, and it might just take a deflection as he strikes it. See it again. If it does, from the back angle, it does take a deflection, a massive deflection. Corner to Sheffield United, which they've taken. Into the box it comes, and Wrexham just about hang on in there, but a lovely turn, and Brewster, what a save. Flag stayed down, really knocking on the door now, the Blades. Want this goal. As another cross comes in, and Wrexham hold on. But they are living dangerously at the back there. Brewster with a great shot. Straight down the throat of the keeper, who made a good save in Callum Burton. Peck tried to break forward, and good covering back there by William Boyle. Goodness me, it is relentless from Sheffield United all of a sudden there. A minute or two of real good football. The spin initially, I'm trying to see it was, I think it might have been Slimani. Lovely turn, and the ball just bounces forward for Brewster, and he has the pop shot at it right down the throat of the keeper, but a fantastic reactionary save from the Wrexham keeper. Denies Sheffield United there and denies Ryan Brewster, but a really strong, dominant moment for Sheffield United, starting to show their talent and quality on the field. But so far, haven't been able to show anything for it on the scoreline. Still 0-0 in this one tonight, and that is crucial for Wrexham. The longer it stays goalless, the more belief and confidence they will have as the game goes on, and they will feel they can get something. But of course, very long way away. Still very much a whole half of the first half to go before any of that is going to become talked about at all. Right. As that was a mistake at the back there for Sheffield United, and a chance for Wrexham in the box. The man eased over there, but he's never going to get a penalty for that. And McLean can't get on the end of that one down the left-hand side. Gilchrist clears for the throw. Just see this again. I mean, it's weak. There on the ball, just get caught in possession. Did the midfielder. And Wrexham just try and break down the right-hand side. They come across the middle, out to the left-hand side. And then I think he just tried to take the extra touch there, Sam Dalby, and ended up closed down. But again, better play from Wrexham, trying to take their chances, trying to break quickly on Sheffield United. It almost worked that time, as they try and squeeze it in behind again. As Bolton sees his ball put out of play for a throw. Very competitive so far in this one. Sheffield United have had their little spell in the last few minutes, but still without a major punishment of Wrexham. That's a hopeful cross, but it actually comes out for a Wrexham corner. Bolton that whipped that cross in. Wrexham will get another corner on the right hand side. It's not going to be easy, plain sailing for Sheffield United tonight. They may have had a couple of good chances in the last few minutes, but Wrexham are still going to pump away at them and have the threat. And we'll see what they can deliver from this set piece. Of course, James McLean lifts it into the box at the back post, and it's in the mix, and it's into the net. And the League One side lead at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United had a flurry of goalmouth action, but it is Wrexham that break the deadlock. And it's from a set piece. I said James McLean could deliver on a sixpence. Really good ball to the back post. It's flicked on into the mix inside the 6-yard box. Lots of bodies crowding that area. Really good header at the back post, and Boyle is the first to react. He had a really good chance early on for Wrexham, and now he has found the back of the nets, and the League One side are off to an incredible start here at Bramall Lane this evening. 29 minutes gone, and it is Sheffield United 0, Wrexham 1. Don't know if the Hollywood owners are here tonight. Rob McElhenney and of course, did pull himself. Of course, but I don't know if they're here tonight. But if they are, or if they're watching somewhere, they will be celebrating indeed. They were at the Stoke Keras at the weekend. I did see pictures of them with Wrexham's league opener at the weekend. Their first game in League One at the weekend, winning at home against Wycombe Wanderers 3-2. Maybe made it a bit more kind of nervy than they probably wanted to, but tonight it's all about trying to get through by whichever means possible. And Wrexham are leading at the moment, which is something that Sheffield United want to change. But Wrexham, with one shot, one on target in the last 10 minutes, that is clinical. But they've had less than 20% possession, 18% possession from Wrexham in the last 10 minutes. But that just shows you when you get your chance, you have to take it. And they did. And William Boyle is the goal scorer that has them ahead. Right, a couple of half-times coming in then for you from our 7:45s. Half-time at the Swansea.com Stadium. It's Swansea 1, Gillingham 0. So Swansea ahead there at the break. Derby and Chesterfield is 1-1 at the break there as well. This evening, as I mentioned earlier on, Blackburn are leading 4-0 there at half-time. They'll be coming to the second half very shortly in that one, and all heading the added time in the first half. Elsewhere, we have a goal at Carrow Road to bring you once again. It is like a game of table tennis in that one, and it is once again the away side that have levelled things once more. It is Norwich City 2, Stevenage 2. An incredible first half. Norwich took the lead through Abu Kamara early in the first half. Good then equalised. Hernandez then retook the lead for Norwich, and now Stevenage are back on terms. Once more, it is Norwich 2, Stevenage 2. Certainly not an easy night for Norwich once again. They were beaten at the weekends, and they want to get a cup run. Cup game can somewhat galvanise you and give you that good form that you want, to give you that belief and confidence in the side once again, and that winning feeling. But it's not going to be an easy night for Norwich against Stevenage. The League One side are level once more, and certainly not going down without a fight. Right. It's not the most packed Bramall Lane that I've ever seen over the years, but one thing is for certain: there's a lot of Wrexham fans in here, and they're making a lot of noise so far, because their side are leading and are probably at times looking sharper than Sheffield United. But here come the home side. Hampson looking for the cross into the box, and the attempt at a defensive clearance from Dan Scarr there completely went the wrong way. He almost scored a wonder of an own goal there, but it went flying over the bar. Goodness me, it was a nice ball out to the right-hand side. Owen Hampson made that break down into the space, and he just tries to go for the early cross, and Dan Scarr just swings out a right leg unnecessarily. Doesn't know what's behind him, and he swings out a leg, and it certainly tests the keeper. Scares the keeper indeed. Burton. It does go over the bar for a corner, which Sheffield United have taken. Still in the box. Suter was battling there, couldn't win the header. Does win the second one. Out wide it comes again. Sheffield United lots of bodies forward, but again James McLean getting back and closes it out for another corner. A second goal at Vicarage Road. It is Watford 2, MK Dons 0 at this moment. I think that came a bit earlier on, but I missed it. But it doesn't matter, because Watford lead 2-0 at half-time. And it is Tom Ince that has doubled Watford's lead. Corner for Sheffield United, deep to the back post. Flicked on and flicked behind once again by a Wrexham player. Another corner. Took a slight deflection there, although the Wrexham player is arguing against that decision, but I don't think you can have much of an argument. It did look like a deflection. Corner incoming for Sheffield United once again. The relentless nature of this tonight, where the home side, who are a league above, are behind. Oh, that's a lovely cross, and the header is off the line and over the bar. But a free kick's gone the way of Wrexham. Oh no, it's a goal. It looked like it was a free kick given, but it's deemed to go on over the line. The watch of the referee buzzed and he pointed away from the goal, and it looked like it was given a free kick, but it looks like the ball has gone over the line. Looked like it was cleared away incredibly, but it's actually gone in. See the corner again, a really strong header by Austin Trusty. Not defended well at the back post at all. Just completely free, headed on, and that is as tight as it could be. Jones tries to clear it off the line, and it looked like he did, but it just, according to goal line technology, went over the line, and Sheffield United are level. Goodness me. And it's not as ambiguous as VAR, goal line technology. It's either over the line or it's not. Let's see it. And it is as slim as ever. That is literal millimetres over the line. That is devastatingly close for Wrexham. And Austin Trusty, the centre-back of Sheffield United, has the leveller. 1-1. Goodness me. That's really tough for Wrexham to take. But, I mean, the defending from the corner wasn't great. It's pretty simple. The man was free at the back post. He cleared it off the line, but just not enough. And it was seen just by millimetres over the line. And that is Austin Trusty's first goal for Sheffield United. What a way to do it. By the most craziest of moments. I got completely muddled. The corner came in, the header came across goal, and it was initially cleared off the line. And then the referee then blew the whistle, but pointed away from goal. Usually, you think, oh, he's given a free kick to the defence. But he's pointed to the centre circle, of course, signifying a goal. But initially, it was confusion as to what had actually happened, and then the referee did kind of shake his head and nod and say, it's a goal. And ultimately, Sheffield United have the equaliser. Certainly not the orthodox way of doing it. But it is 1-1. And that's all that Chris Wilder and the Blades fans will worry about. Wrexham will know it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of their night. Very much so. Not them out of the competition. Very much not on that occasion. It's still 1-1. And they're still very, very much in this game. Right, so half-time in all of our 7:45 kickoffs. The second half is just going underway between Stockport and Blackburn Rovers. They lead by 4-0 Blackburn, as I said. A brace from Sammy Schmodix and Andreas Weimann and Yuki Ohashi with the two other goals that have Blackburn 4-0 up at the break. Also, elsewhere at the half-times, we'll run through all the 7:45 scores, plus some key games elsewhere when we hit the half-time whistle here at Bramall Lane, which is about 7.5 minutes away. This first half has absolutely flown by. A really interesting game, really intriguing fixture between these two. And as soon as the draw was done, we knew it was going to be an interesting fixture, and one that we were going to keep a massive eye on, and we're certainly going to watch very closely. And as soon as we were picking, there was no doubt this was the game that we were watching tonight. Not a question. And the storyline is still very much possible. But we're not going to get too excited too early on at this moment. Half-time as well in the Champions League qualifier, the third round qualifier between Rangers and Dynamo Kyiv. That game at Hampden Park this evening. The home stadium of the Scottish national team. Rangers, of course, using that at the moment. They're borrowing it off the Scottish FA for the moment, for a few weeks, while Ibrox gets a few touch-ups at the moment, and that is currently ongoing. But it is 0-0 at the break, 1-1 on aggregate. So as I said earlier on, the winner on the night between Rangers and Dynamo Kyiv will progress to the playoff round, which means they will be one step away from Champions League football returning. So we will see what happens there. Later on this evening, that was a 7:45 kickoff, so that will be in tandem with our earlier games on the left-hand side of your screen. So we will know the final result of that one, unless it goes to extra time and penalties. Then we could leave that for a bit later on. But we will update you on what happens between those two later on this evening if it goes that far. Well, I have to say, I was confused even more when the Wrexham midfielder James Jones, who cleared the ball off the line for the Sheffield United goal, he went straight over to the assistant referee on the far side and complaining. Clearly in League 1 and League 2, goal line technology isn't a thing, clearly. But in the Championship and in the EFL Cup, it is, of course. And he went straight over to the linesman, because when there is no goal line technology, it is the assistant referee that makes the decision as to whether it's gone over the line. But goal line technology doesn't lie, and he knew that instantly when the assistant told him, and he walked away with a pretty glum face. James Jones there. You can't blame him for trying. Although the decision wasn't going to get overturned, but nonetheless, it is 1-1. And the last couple of minutes of this first half, Sheffield United have taken more control of this one now. They do have more possession, 66% of the ball so far in this first half. And at the moment, it is still 1-1. Of course, lots of positives for Wrexham to take out of this first half. The way they've defended Sheffield United in moments, how positive they've played as well, and ultimately trying to attack on the counter pretty aggressively has been really interesting to watch. Of course, we expected Sheffield United to dominate the ball tonight, and of course I'm expecting, Wrexham know that coming away from home, Sheffield United, one of the sides actually pipped for relegation from the Championship this season into the Premier League again. It's not going to be an easy game away from home. It's going to be really tough as Sheffield United come down the right-hand side again. Hampson can't find a way through past Boyle. Hampson still keeps the ball. Has to go back round the corner. Gilchrist tries to feed it on, but he's going to pull it back here, the referee, for an earlier foul. And a yellow card is going to be brought out as well for the man James McLean, who has the armband for Wrexham tonight. And he has been booked for a foul there. Yeah, he was nowhere near the ball, and cynical foul by the Wrexham captain. He gets a booking as we edge ever closer to the interval, and Sheffield United have this free kick. Bodies up to try and threaten the two centre-backs. One of them who has already scored, Austin Trusty. And Harry Suter, the captain of Sheffield United, up there as well. Wrexham again continuing with that high line. They've just again planted their back line on the edge of the 18-yard box. Still decently high. Let's see what what Peck can do from this set piece. Right-footed delivery, deep cross goal, flicked on, and a miss kick in the middle allows Wrexham to clear their lines. I'm trying to see who that was that miskicked it, but certainly wasn't convincing. I think it might have been Slimani that miskicked it, but whoever did will not want to see the replay of that one. Again, that set piece, we saw it a bit earlier on from Sheffield United. They take those deep free kicks and they go for the flick-on header back into the middle. And that time, they had a free man in the middle. He just miskicked it completely, which allowed Wrexham to clear their lines. As they switch it out to the left-hand side here, the visitors, wanting to reinstate their early lead that they had. As the ball comes into the box, and they fail to clear it. Sheffield United, in deflection from the shot, takes it straight into the hands of Gerbic, but maybe a bit of luck went Wrexham's way there, but Sheffield United end up getting the luck out of that one. Really calamitous defending. They were all over the place there. Really couldn't get the ball cleared out of their own box, and Wrexham just tried to capitalise upon it. And the shot took a deflection, which ended up in the hands of the Sheffield United keeper. They've certainly shown a lot of threat on the counter-attack so far tonight, Wrexham. Trying to take advantage of how many bodies that Sheffield United want to push up the field. Certainly want to take advantage of that, and at times they have measured it really, really well. Got the balance between not doing it too much, but also still being effective. And when they have done it, here's Slimani now down the left-hand side as Bowy's tried to break forward there, but he's just closed out. Another throw into Sheffield United. Last minute of the first half. We'll see how long's added on at the end of this first half. Throw in on the left-hand side. Boys Back to Marsh. We haven't heard very much of in this first half. Louis Marsh. As Peck there wins another throw in. Boys to take once more. To Walsh. 4 added minutes incoming at the end of this first half here at Bramall Lane, and Boys try to play it down the line there. Just went out of play. Throw into Wrexham. A reminder for you, we will update all of the scores from our selected fixtures at half time, whilst also talking about this first half and also giving you a few updates from elsewhere, some key games, some interesting scorelines as well. So do stay with us here on LFS tonight. And we do have more AFL Cup offerings for you tomorrow night if you want to join us. A championship battle, an all-championship tie between at Elland Road. Leeds didn't get off to the perfect start at home against Portsmouth in the championship at the weekend. They had to draw 3-3, coming from behind twice in that one. Middlesbrough, well, they had a winning start. They won 1-0 at home, and they face each other tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kick-off on LFS in the first round of the Carabao Cup. Middlesbrough, who had a great run in the Cup last year, an incredible run. Got to the semi-final, ultimately beaten by Chelsea in that semi-final quite convincingly, but they did get to the semi-final, which is an incredible feat for Middlesbrough, considering, as I said, that an AFL club haven't been in the final of this competition, considering it is named after them. They haven't been in a final of this competition in 11 years, as Wrexham try and break in behind here, and they've chipped it. Oh, it's gone wide. Tried to chip it over the keeper there. I think it was Revan. It was. I said how Wrexham had that threat on the counter, and in behind, just see it here. They look under pressure, and their keeper just pumps it forward. And the Sheffield United defence just caught napping, and Revan just tries to make the run in behind. He goes for a real battle there, back there with Alfie Gilchrist. Almost gets the better of him. Does get his foot around the ball and just tries to chip the keeper. And it just goes wide, but that is so unlucky. Incredibly smart play by Revan on the counter there. Very, very close for Wrexham. Once again, just wide of the goal. Another great opportunity so far. That long ball forward. Suter wins the first header. Bit of head tennis at the moment, no one bringing it down. As Wrexham do try and keep the possession. Here's McLean. Back to Boyle. McLean again. Just about a minute or so of the first half to go. We've had 4 added on. We've played 3 of those minutes before we do get the interval. At the moment, I wouldn't actually know who would benefit more from the half-time whistle. I would say Wrexham would want to kind of gather their thoughts, but they've actually had a decent end to the half. In this added time, they've been the more threatening of the two teams, and Dolby tries to run and reach it, but the ball just runs out, and Rathbone there puts it out for a throw-in. Unlucky, but again, there is that threat in behind from Wrexham, and it's something that Sheffield United really need to get to grips with, because if they're playing this high line, the defence, again, very pedestrian, just jogging back towards the ball, not seeing the threat, not seeing the danger, and at times Wrexham are just exploiting that. And Sheffield United, something they need to be careful of. As Ryan Brewster tries to link up with Gilchrist. Here is Ryan Brewster, who came very close to giving Sheffield United the lead earlier on. Had his shot saved. He's gone out wide. Of course, Ryan Brewster was a big money signing for Sheffield United, but he's not scored in this first half. And that is the end of the first half here at Bramall Lane, where at the moment it is level, which is a positive scoreline. But it was Wrexham that took the lead. A wonder moment. William Boyle, who actually had the best chance of the first half, but without scoring, did score the first goal of the half. And the equaliser came from a Sheffield United corner. James McLean's a bit unhappy with something. He's having a chat with the referee, but he's on a yellow card. A half-time at Bramall Lane in the first round of the Carabao Cup. It is Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 1. Analysis and updates from around the grounds on the way next. Welcome back to EFL Carabao Cup live on LFS at half-time at Bramall Lane. It is Sheffield United 1, Wrexham 1. An incredible first half of action for you there in this first half. But let's bring you up to date with all of the scores so far this evening. Let's have a look then at our screens. So there we are. There's all our scores. The second halves are underway in all of our 7:45s. They are. And the 7:30 game, which is deep into the second half. Let's talk about that one. Stockport against Blackburn Rovers. An incredible first half for Blackburn Rovers. Of course, very different oppositions, very different teams. Stockport of League One against Blackburn Rovers of the Championship. And Blackburn scored 4 goals in their championship opener, the opening of the Carabao Cup. They have also got 4 goals in the first half. Sami Szmodics opened the scoring. Andreas Weimann doubled the lead for Blackburn. Szmodics got a second of the night to make it 3 before Yuki Ohashi got the 4th for Blackburn. Inside 31 minutes, we're almost 30 minutes on from that, and it is still Stockport 0, Blackburn 4. So whatever Stockport struggled to do in the first 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes have certainly been an improvement. But it is still 4-0, and it looks massively unlikely that anything is going to change in terms of who is going through there, because they're dominating at 4-0. Right, updates then. Second half underway between Bromley and AFC Wimbledon. Bromley, of course, making their debut in the Carabao Cup tonight. An EFL club for the very first time this season. And there, of course, you can only qualify for this competition if you're in the EFL or higher. And at Hayes Lane into the second half, it is 1-1. Bromley took the lead in that one. Levi Amanchi got them ahead before Josh Kelly levelled things for AFC Wimbledon. It is 1-1 in that one. Second half underway between Burton and Blackpool, and it is the only game that we've selected tonight that is goalless as we head into the second half. But there hasn't been a lack of action at the Pirelli Stadium at the moment. A red card for Ryan Sweeney saw Burton go down to 10, and from the resulting penalty that was missed by Blackpool, Ashley Fletcher missing that penalty that could have given Blackpool the lead, but it's 0-0 at this moment in time. Right. Also elsewhere, League One Charlton against League One Birmingham. Two sides in League One, the old League One tie, of course. I've said it multiple times. Charlton actually missed a penalty of their own in that first half. They do trail into the second half. Tyrese Campbell with the penalty that was missed. It was saved by the goalkeeper. Campbell failing to put Charlton in front, and about 20 minutes later, it was a goal. There was a goal, and it was Birmingham that had taken the lead. A wonderful goal by Brandon Kayla gives Birmingham the lead, which they currently still hold. It is Charlton 1, Birmingham 0. We have resolved that graphic error, and we have got the right team that are playing Derby at Pride Park, a team that actually took the lead in League 2 Chesterfield, and Armando Dobra had giving them the lead before Derby had levelled. Liam Thompson with the equaliser just 9 minutes later, and it is still that same scoreline, 1-1. Elsewhere then, Fleetwood, our next game against West Bromwich Albion at Highbury Stadium. Fleetwood, of course, of League 2, facing West Brom of the Championship tonight, and West Brom had taken the lead. Mo Fall opened the scoring for the Baggies on the road before two quick succession goals. Two back-to-back goals, not in quick succession, but two back-to-back goals from Fleetwood have them ahead in the second half. Graydon and Coughlin with the 2 goals in the first half have Fleetwood leading by 2-1. Our first big upset of the night looking on course for happening. At Carrow Road, there's been another goal since we last updated you, and I can tell you about that now. Norwich lead by 3-2. It's been a ping-pong match the whole way through. It's end-to-end. It's goal at each end every time. And it was Norwich that opened the scoring. Abu Kamara gave Norwich City the lead in that one. An equaliser from Charlie Good levelled things for Stevenage before Onel Hernandez reinstated that lead for Norwich a few minutes later. Before, again, just before half-time, it was an equaliser from Stevenage. Lewis Appert had got them back at 2-2. That was the score at half-time, and 3 minutes into the second half, Norwich have taken the lead for the third time tonight. And Boyes Sainz has given them a third goal, and they lead by 3-2. But do not rule out the fact that there could be much more goals to come between Norwich and Stevenage. 5 already. I wouldn't rule out quite a number more. Between Preston and Sunderland at Deepdale. Preston without a permanent manager, Mike Marsh in charge tonight, and he is currently leading them to a round 1 success at the moment. Sunderland, of course, both championship sides with very different results at the weekend. Preston beaten, Sunderland winning in their openers in the championship, and Ryan Ledson has given Preston the lead. Sunderland, of course, made some big changes tonight, and they are trailing at the moment in that one by 1-0. Swansea lead Gillingham by 1-0 in that one. Ronald has given them the lead in the first half, and just as of the second half, as of recently in our latest update, we can tell you that Gillingham are now without 11 players. They're down to 10. A red card has just been brandished by the referee. Ewan Williams, the Northern Irishman, has been sent off, a straight red card, in the 51st minute, sees Gillingham down to 10, so it looks even more difficult for them, but it is still only 1-0 and still very much in the balance there. And at Vicarage Road, in our last of our 7:45s, it is Watford 2, MK Dons 0. 2 goals coming in the first half from Matthew Pollock and Tom Ince have Watford 2-0 up against League 2 MK Dons at Vicarage Road. There. Right, let's go to the Championship qualifier, or the Champions League qualifier, sorry, in the third round of the Champions League qualifier, and there's been an update. There's not been a goal, but there's been a red card at Hampden Park, and it is not good news for Rangers fans because they find themselves down to 10. A second yellow card for new signing Hefte, the 20-year-old Brazilian, joined in the summer, and he was on the bench in their win against Motherwell in the weekend, but did play 45 minutes against Kiev in their reverse fixture last week, but he has been sent off in the second half. They did make a change at half-time, Rangers. Philip Clement bringing Ross McCausland off and bringing Vaclav Cherny on. Vaclav Cherny, who actually scored the ultimate winner for Rangers against Motherwell at the weekend, winning by 2-1 at Hampden. But Jefte has just gone and got himself a second yellow card, which sees Rangers down to 10 at the half. Into the second half, sorry. In that one, we have a goal to tell you about in the game that has all one-sided goals tonight at Edgeley Park in our 7:30 kickoff between Stockport and Blackburn. I said that whatever Stockport had been doing in the first 30 minutes, they'd certainly got to grips with it and started defending better. Well, they're actually adding goals as well. They've got on the score sheet and certainly denied Blackburn a clean sheet at Edgeley Park tonight. It is Stockport 1, Blackburn Rovers 4. It's a long way back if they're going to try and complete the comeback, but it is one step closer if at own. And it's an own goal from John Buckley that has got Stockport on the score sheet tonight. It is Stockport 1, Blackburn Rovers 4. Right, that is where we stand at half-time in all of our feature games. I'll just pick out some other games for you at half-time. Stoke leading Carlisle by a goal to nil. They're coming into the final 20 minutes of that game. Leyton Orient 3-1 up against Newport. That's also a 7:30 kickoff, so lots of goals in the 7:30s coming to a close very, very shortly. Cambridge are losing 2-1 at home to QPR as well. Birmingham, as I said, are 1-0 up. Colchester, who we certainly earlier on had playing Derby away, they're actually at home to Reading, and Colchester leading by 2 goals to nil at home to Reading. Reading side who looked very impressive against Birmingham at the weekend, but at the moment it is Colchester that are getting the better of that game tonight, and the League 2 side beating the League 1 side by 2 goals to nil at this moment in time. Looks to be another upset on the cards there. Grimsby lead Bradford by a goal to nil. Huddersfield 3-0 up against Morecambe. At Wickham 2-0 up away at Northampton. Oxford continuing their good start to the season. They take on Peterborough tonight. Peterborough United, of course, of League 1. Oxford United, who got promoted from League 1 into the Championship last season. They, of course, won against Norwich at the weekend, and they're 2-0 up at home once again. And it is 2-0 to Oxford in that one. Millwall leading Portsmouth away from home by a goal to nil as well. Rotherham and Crewe drawing 1-1. Salford being beaten by Doncaster by a goal to nil. Tranmere still 2-0 up against Accrington. Wigan and Barnsley is 1-1. Those are a couple of our selected pickouts from the other games, but all the comprehensive final scores at the end of the final whistles tonight, as we will bring them to you. Half time at Bramall Lane, the second half coming up very, very shortly between Sheffield United of the Championship and League 1 Wrexham, both getting wins in their opening weekend games on their respective leagues, but at the moment there's nothing to separate the two clubs at Bramall Lane at half time. William Boyle opened the scoring for Wrexham before Austin Trusty levelled for Sheffield United. Controversial one, but it got over the line by the millimetres, literal millimetres, and that is what has Sheffield United ahead. Very much still in the balance. The second half at Bramall Lane is on the way next. Do stay with us. To Carabao Cup live here on LFS this evening for the first round of the Carabao Cup. 32 ties for you tonight. Overall 70 ties. 70 teams in the competition. That's a lot of ties. 70 teams in this first round. 35 ties. 3 coming tomorrow night for you on LFS. We have another goal at Edgeley Park. We'll get to there in a moment. But just to remind you then, Leeds take on Middlesbrough at Ellen Road tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Plus we will have the second round draw live. All the draw from the what will be 25 ties for the second round. Of course, other teams from the higher division in the Premier League joining us in the second round. Right, so that's to come. Plus, we have a bit of breaking news for you tonight. Manchester United have been hinting around the market, and they have confirmed the signings of Matthijs de Ligt and Noussair Mazraoui, both from Bayern Munich. Of course, West Ham signed Aaron Wan-Bissaka that partially funded Noussair Mazraoui's return move to Manchester United, and that is now being confirmed by the Old Trafford club. So Manchester United off to more signings as we're getting back, about to get back underway here at Bramall Lane. Then for the second half, the players back out on the fields. So not only scores that tell you about tonight, some breaking news as well. Everything is coming through. The second half ready to get underway here at Bramall Lane as the whistle goes, and we're underway for another 45 minutes at the very least here in this one tonight. Of course, Interesting to see, very much still in the balance between these two clubs tonight, because at the end of the day, Wrexham aren't expected to win here, and at the moment it is still 0-0, or still 1-1, sorry, still level, and we'll see if they're, of course, we will see who will go through to the next round. Sorry, I am a bit distracted at this moment in time. I have to keep on top of absolutely everything tonight, because everything is going on. All these goals and action from around the grounds. It certainly keeps you up on your toes. Of course, remember tonight, if the game is level after 90 minutes, if you were wondering, that's what I was trying to find out, because I wanted to share that information, but get it correct for you, because they change it every bloody season, whether there's extra time or penalties, or whether it's just penalties. In the event of scores being level at the end of the 90 minutes duration in rounds 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 of the Carabao Cup, the winners shall be determined by penalty kicks. No extra time will be played in any of the games in round 1 to 5 if the scores are level after 90 minutes. Extra time will apply in the semi-finals and final, but none of the earlier rounds. Goals to tell you about. We're back underway, as I mentioned, at Bramall Lane, but lots to tell you about from around the rest of the grounds tonight. A fifth goal for Blackburn Rovers, as I was telling you about. They have instated that 4-goal lead. They lead by 5 goals to 1 now, and it is Maktar Gay that has given them the fifth this evening. Another one of their players that played on Friday night. I do remember that name. It's hard to forget. Also, Wimbledon have taken the lead for the very first time tonight away at Bromley, which is a disappointing one for the debutant side in League 2 this evening. But Wimbledon 2 take the lead. Joe Piggott with the goal that gives Wimbledon the 2-1 lead there. Sheffield United try and shoot from distance. Bodies in the box, and the ball into the hands of Callum Burton in there. Right, goodness me. We have goals to tell you about as well at Carrow Road. I told you it was ping pong, but Norwich have broken that duck, and they are leading by 2 goals now. It is Norwich 4, Stevenage 2. The goal scorer of that fourth isn't through yet, but we'll get you that in a moment. 4-2 to Norwich in that one. And also, Watford have really given themselves a lot of daylight now. In their game, they lead by 3 goals to 0. A third goal scored there as well for Watford. So comfort for a couple of teams tonight and a couple of ties. But at the moment, still quite a number of them hanging in the balance, which is what we love to see. We could have a flurry of penalty shootouts tonight. And if there is, we will certainly keep you well up to date with them. As I mentioned, every single final score from all of the 32 ties tonight, we will bring you here before we finish this evening. Do not worry about that. Right. We can take a breath now. We can take a breath and concentrate on this second half here between Sheffield United and Wrexham, because it's been a very fascinating game. Really interesting, really entertaining, and these two clubs slogging it out, shall we say, here at Bramall Lane tonight. And Wrexham, of course, not much expectancy, but of course, lots of anticipation and excitement about this club at the moment, as McLean lifts in a cross. Suter got the header, not fully cleared though, as his body's back in the box. Dolby trying to make himself a nuisance, but in the end, the flag goes up against Sam Dolby there. And he goes for a free kick to Sheffield United. Right. James McLean had a couple of good set-piece deliveries there. Decent efforts. Really good cross on the right-hand side. And just see it again. The header. Oh. I don't think that was offside. I think he's onside there, Sam Dolby. I think he's got done in there by the assistant. Put the flag up. I don't think he was offside if we've seen that replay. Of course, no VAR involved in the Carabao Cup because, you know, there's no Premier League teams involved. I think that's still the rule. I believe so. That is still the rule, that it's only available at Premier League grounds. That is scandalous at the very best at times, that one. Either that or it's not available to the latter rounds. It's one of the two. But whatever matters, there's no VAR here tonight, and that's not a worry for any of these two clubs in their domestic leagues, nor it is tonight, as Gerbich goes long. That's a lovely first touch there, but again the second touch let him down in Marsh that time. As Wrexham try and break down the right hand side. And he's trying to make a nuisance of himself there, Bolton. Trying to win the corner. And he does so well. So Wrexham have the set piece. A fourth goal to tell you about from Vicarage Road. And it is an extension on the already strong lead for Watford under Tom Cleverley, looking very strong against League 2 MK Dons. Their third goal came from Cadwo Ba, and they've just scored a fourth, and Tom Ince has got his second of the night. It is Watford 4, MK Dons 0. Corner to Wrexham here, right hand side, left foot cross into the box, headed away by Sheffield United. Back it comes, McLean to deliver again. We'll go for the left foot again. Not much height behind that one, but the header brings it back into the box, and it's spun behind for another Wrexham corner. Goal to tell you about at Pride Park. Well, Chesterfield had taken the lead against Derby County. Well, it is no more. They certainly hadn't the lead for very long, and now they trail by 2-1. Derby have taken the lead for the very first time tonight. Is Derby 2. Chesterfield 1. So Derby looking to get their first win of the domestic campaign, and they lead at this point of the half as that Wrexham corner's taken short. Trying to again go for those early deliveries from the wide areas. Some more goals to tell you about in a moment as the long ball forward from Wrexham in behind is easily gathered by Gerbich. Goal to tell you about the Swansea.com Stadium. Swansea led by a goal to nil against Gillingham. Gillingham went down to 10, and now that lead is extended. It is Swansea 2, Gillingham 0. The goal on the 70th minute coming from Liam Cullen that is given Swansea an extension on their already 1-goal lead is now 2-0. Right. Here's Austin Trusty. Boys. Trying to flick it on. Really nice work. Lovely 1-2. Here's Boys. Trying to go for the cross. Slowed himself down to try and whip the cross in. He still has the ball up against Brunt. Tries to go for low in the cross into the box. And that's hooked away behind for the corner. Did really well there, Boys, to just get the ball into the box by whatever which means. And kept the pressure on the Wrexham defence. And they had to put it behind for the corner. It's Evans on the cover. Just had to put that one behind. A goal between Burton and Blackpool we'll get to you in a moment. Our only 0-0 of the night in our selected fixtures. We'll get that to you in a moment as Sheffield United take this corner. Left hand side, taken short. Trying to pass it around. Alfie Gilchrist, who came on in the first half. The injured Sariki. Cross comes into the box. Still alive. As the shot is just gone narrowly wide from Harry Suter. Known for his heading. Not for his striking, but that was a clean strike, but just wide of the right post from Harry Suter. Chested it down, bounced around the box, and just fell nice for him. And he just hits it wide. Decent effort. As I could say then, Burton and Blackpool, there has been a goal there at the Pirelli Stadium, and it is the visitors that lead in that one. Blackpool with the extra man advantage from the very early moments. They missed a penalty early on, but they have taken their advantage now, and it is Burton 0, Blackpool 1 in that one. So all of our games have at least a goal tonight, which is exactly what you want. I mean, it's been an absolute goal fest all around every single ground in the EFL Cup tonight, because there are a total of 0 0-0s. Not a single game tonight is 0-0. An incredible flurry of goals in the first round of the Carabao Cup this evening. An incredible display of attacking quality. Wonderful. Quite a number of teams that haven't scored. There are no 0-0s. We have another goal at Deepdale to tell you about. Remember I said that Preston, without a manager, without Ryan Lowe in charge, and they were leading. Well, they are still leading. I led you on there, but it is Preston 2, Sunderland 0, and it is Mads Frøkjær Jensen, the Danishman, sorry, that has doubled Preston's lead. It is Preston 2, Sunderland 0. So Sunderland in a tough spot here in round 1. They made a wholesale amount of changes. The Sunderland team from the weekend that beat Cardiff away from home, and they're seemingly feeling the pressure and difficulty of it at the moment, because Preston have only made 3 changes from the starting 11 from the game away at home to Sheffield United on Friday night, and they're getting the benefit of that because they're leading by 2-0. Right, 10 minutes gone in this second half here at Bramall Lane. Still 1-1. So far it's been a pretty even affair all the way through, and even more so in this second half. Not much to separate the two sides in terms of the way that they've played tonight and their quality on the ball, in a sense. There's the referee putting the flag up for offside there. There's an offside against Sheffield United, so Wrexham will get a free kick. A reminder that there is a third round qualifying game of the Champions League ongoing tonight at Hampden Park. Rangers and Dynamo Kyiv, and it is still 0-0 between those two clubs. Remember, Rangers down to 10 after Jefte got a second yellow card, so it is Rangers 0, Dynamo Kyiv 0. Remember, the winner on the night will progress to face RB Salzburg in the playoff round and leave them one step away from Champions League football. As Sheffield United play a ball in behind, Hampson to Ryan Brewster across, and the ball has bundled in, and Sheffield United lead for the first time tonight. And Ryan Brewster, I'm sure, will get the spoils of that one, because his shot, ultimately a cross, but a shot in the end, ends up in the back of the net from a slight deflection. And at another hard moment for Wrexham to take. They defended so well, they've played so well so far, but the quality of Sheffield United showing through, and it is Sheffield United 2, Wrexham 1. See it again, good break down the right hand side. Again, Wrexham just not comfortable enough in midfield. Ryan Brewster sets off the move, plays it to Hampson, makes that run in behind, and Brewster completely free, lovely weighted run, and he just plays it across, and it comes cascading off a defender. I'm trying to see who that was. Just sticks a left boot out, and it's very hard to take again for Wrexham, and it's gone in off Lewis Brunt, the centre back, and it actually doesn't go down, of course, as a Ryan Brewster goal. He will celebrate it, but it has gone down as a Brunt own goal because the cross was nowhere near on target. Doesn't matter though. It is Sheffield United 2, Wrexham 1, and that is all that I'm sure the Blades and Chris Wilder will care about right now, that they lead. And Ryan Brewster, who's had a tough time since joining Sheffield United a number of years ago from Liverpool, but he's certainly making an impact tonight, albeit against the side in a lower division. But nonetheless, good performances, bring your form, and could get him a chance in the Championship. We will see. Fifth goal at Vicarage Road to tell you about, and it is, as you probably can expect, MK Dons have conceded once again. Tom Ince with his hat-trick tonight, his third goal of the evening, has got Watford a fifth. It is Watford 5, MK Dons 0. So some clear headroom coming in a couple of these games, but one game that I will keep a very close eye on at this moment in time is Fleetwood against West Brom. Remember, Fleetwood Town, is Sheffield United trying to go for the optimistic one, has gone wide. He saw Burton off his line there, did Peck, wanted to go for the extravagant one, just couldn't get that one on target. Peck there. League 2, Fleetwood, as I said, leading Championship West Brom, 2 divisions higher West Brom, but they are behind at this moment of time, and it's Fleetwood 2, West Brom 1. That's one to keep a very close eye on. With 13 minutes to go, a shock could be very much on the cards this evening in that one at Highbury Stadium. Another goal at Edgeley Park, and it is another goal for Blackburn Rovers. They have added a 6th tonight. Just a couple of minutes to go. Jack Vale has got the 6th for Blackburn. It is Stockport 1, Blackburn 6. So there's no doubt who's going through, but just by what margin, and it looks like it will be a 5-goal margin at the moment. With 88 minutes gone, it is Stockport 1, Blackburn 6. So there we go. That's the way we stand in that one. We will get our first confirmed results of the night from the 7:30 kickoffs, all in the final couple of minutes, and we will confirm the first 3 sides through to the second round of the Carabao Cup in a very short moment for you. We'll have the full list of all the sides that have gone through tonight a bit later on for you. Sheffield United trying to get their way through past a very tough task in Wrexham in round 1, but at the moment they do lead by 2-1. Maybe a bit of luck, but nonetheless, that's all that matters. All that matters is getting through. That's the key component. That's the key point of the factor this evening, as Gilchrist battling. Does win the throw-in on that right-hand side. With another goal to tell you about between Burton and Blackpool this evening at Pirelli Stadium. Remember, I said that Blackpool really struggled to take the lead and take the advantage of the extra man that they have with Burton down to 10. Well, they are certainly taking advantage of it now. They've got a second 7 minutes after they scored their first. Matthew Pennington has doubled Blackpool's lead. It looks like to be a decent enough night for them tonight. Triple change for Wrexham. Elliot Lee, Marriott and Fletcher all coming on, replacing Rathbone, McLean and Dolby. So a triple change for Phil Parkinson. Try and give them some fresh legs, some fresh bodies as we enter the final 30 minutes of this game at Bramall Lane. Just trying to switch it up. Some fresh legs to give Wrexham more of a threat in the final third. And hoping for a bit of tired legs and fatigue from the Sheffield United players, and try and take as much of an advantage of that as possible. Wrexham, Sheffield United try and want to add a third, just give them a bit of headroom as the shot from distance. There's another wasted effort that time, flying over the bar from Sheffield United. City Peck. There's another effort. We have another couple of updates to tell you about around the grounds. We're just hearing that there's been a red card at the Valley. Remember, 2 League One sides, Charlton and Birmingham, in that one. Birmingham leading by a 0-0. Kayla, with a wonderful goal in that first half, has given Birmingham the lead, but it looks like Birmingham have just been sent to 10 men. There's been a red card in that one. We'll confirm that for you in a second when we can, and I can confirm it. A second bookable offence, Dion Sanderson, second yellow card. Birmingham down to 10. They lead, but they've got 1 man less than their opponents, Charlton, and we'll see if the League One opposition can battle back to keep it interesting later on there. Another goal to tell you about at Pirelli Stadium. We'll get there in a moment as Sheffield United come forward down the left. Ball into the box. Not multiply cleanly cleared away by Scar, and then really strong goalkeeping by Burton. He got there ahead of everyone else and gathered. Third goal, as I said, at Pirelli Stadium, and it is another one for Blackpool. They're really taking advantage of that now, and Matthew Pennington has got his second of the night to give Blackpool a 3-0 lead. And if that is Blackpool's goal, that is an absolute screamer. Whoever scored that one, because that is a wonder goal. I think it might be Bolton. It has been Bolton in that one. I've just seen an absolute wonder goal from Bolton there. Fabulous. Right. We're getting all the drama tonight. Absolutely exceptional. I mean, it's been 170 days since we've had this in the Carabao Cup, and it has been absolutely exceptional all night. By God, we've missed it. Cup football is unmatched, and it is absolutely incredible tonight, and we've got all the action right till the very death for you here this evening. Sheffield United still leading by 2-1. Wrexham I've just won a free kick there. Dan Scar just taken out there by Ray and Brewster, both trying to go for the ball, and the Wrexham man getting the free kick. There's a few bit of headers there as Wrexham try and come forward. Brewster to break it up, and now they want to come back the other way here. Sheffield United, remember, third goal would be really positive for Sheffield United, give them a bit of comfort heading into the later stages. Here's Brewster, battling, just about keeping on hold of the ball as he passes it off there. He's struggling. Might have got caught there while he had the ball. Sheffield United play through the lines. Nice ball by Trusty. Slimani now in the box, trying to squeeze his way through, but closed down. Final score from two of our early 7:30 kickoffs. It is Stoke that have beaten Carlisle by 2-0, and Carlisle have been knocked out. Stoke are through to second half goals. See Stoke progress to the second round. And Blackburn are joining them. Blackburn, the first of our featured games tonight, our selected fixtures, to progress. 6-1, very convincing from John Eustace's side. 6-1 that they have taken that result, and they're through to the second round. Right, lovely. Lovely to see. Lovely to see. Right. So that one's come to a close. In that one, as Sheffield United again here, they'll get the free kick as Peck is fouled. He's had a very impactful night as Peck. He's been all over the pitch. He's been everywhere for Sheffield United tonight. Certainly has got himself trying to make himself known to Chris Wilder that he probably wants to make a championship appearance, wants to be involved and battle for a place in that midfield in the main team. We'll see. City Peck can try and persuade Chris Wilder in a sense. And Slimani went down, and it's a penalty to Sheffield United. Scar with a challenge, and he points to the spot the referee. Slimani went down, and the referee took no hesitation in pointing to the spot. We'll see it again. Brewster on the spin. Nice ball fed him into the box, and Scar just dives in on Slimani, and no doubt about it, referee points right to the spot. It's not Scar, actually, I apologise. It's Bolton that makes the challenge. Scar that was complaining about the penalty being given, but it is Bolton that is committed that foul, and now Wrexham find themselves in a very tough position. Sheffield United have a chance, a massive chance, to take a 2-goal lead. We have goals in the Championship qualifiers to tell you about at Hampden Park. We'll get there very momentarily because it's big news. We'll get there in a moment. Penalty for Sheffield United. Ryan Brewster, who was involved in the second goal for Sheffield United, denied that because it's an own goal. Well, he wants one of his own, and he have to score the penalty if he wants it. Ryan Brewster to give Sheffield United a bit of daylight here at Bramall Lane against League One Wrexham. Brewster steps up, and it's saved, but the follow-up is in. Brewster won't get his goal, but Sheffield United will get a third, and that does give them a bit of daylight. And it is Louis Marsh that is the first to react and gets Sheffield United a third goal. It really gives them comfort in this first round tie. Ryan Brewster, it just does not fall for him at all. He takes the strike. It's not the best of penalties. It's saved by Burton, but it palmed back out into the mix, and Louis Marsh is the first out there to react. Keeper dived the right way, but unlucky again from Wrexham. I mean, I've said it, all 3 goals tonight. But once again, that's the tough and harsh effects of football sometimes. As the keeper... Oh, I think the keeper might be off his line. I don't think they'll not check it, but there's no VAR. But it is 3-1 to Sheffield United. The keeper might have got away with one. Right, we have so much to tell you about from the Champions League because we missed 2 goals in the Champions League qualifiers while we were watching that penalty. Goals as well to tell you about in the Carabao Cup as well. Let's head to Hampden Park to see what has happened between Rangers and Dynamo Kiev. Remember, Rangers were down to 10. Jefta with a second yellow card. Well, it's just got worse for the Glasgow Blues, shall we say. They're going to feel blue after this because it is Rangers 0, Dynamo Kiev 2 in that one at Hampden Park. The first one came from Alexander Pikhailonok. Sorry if I've absolutely butchered that. Pakailanok and Nazar Voloshin has doubled the lead. So it is Rangers 0, Dynamo Kyiv 2. It looks like the runners-up of the Scottish Premiership last season are not going to follow suit of the champions Celtic and find a place in the Champions League main stage. And they're not going to get to the playoff round at the moment because they need to score 2 goals without reply in the final 6 minutes or so. But it is Rangers 0, Dynamo Kyiv 2. And it looks like the Ukrainian side will be heading through. Right. Back here then. At Bramall Lane, it's 3-1 to Sheffield United. So a bit of comfort for them. And I can, while we do have that bit of comfort, we can bring you around the grounds a bit more. Now, not by very much, but we can. Swansea, the Swansea.com Stadium, up against 10-man Gillingham. It may not be a clean sweep for them tonight. It may not be as easy as they once thought. They were 2-0 up, but they have pegged one back, Gillingham, and they're back in the game. It is 2-1, and the man that has got the goal is Oliver Hawkins with 3 minutes to go, and they're about to add out of time. And if they get an equaliser, penalties could be on the cards at the Swansea.com Stadium. Considering Swansea were 2-0 up, that would be a massive collapse in that one. Elsewhere, there is nothing more to tell you about, other than the fact that another one of our 7:30 games is still going. 6 added minutes between Leyton Orient and Newport, but there's going to be no worries as to who's going through there. Leyton Orient lead 4-1 against Newport County, so it should be Leyton Orient that will be heading through, but we'll confirm that for you in a moment or two when the final score comes through. Elsewhere, all the scores down the left hand side of your screen are unchanged from the last time we updated you. We've had 3 red cards in our featured games tonight. Gillingham, Burton and Birmingham all had a man sent off for various different things, and at the moment all 3 of those sides are different results. Burton and Gillingham losing, but Birmingham down to 10 but still lead Charlton by a goal to 0 at the moment. Can Charlton battle back? They don't have much time because we're heading into the final few minutes of all of those 7:45 games this evening, so a lot of action still to come from all of those games, but they're going to have to do it quickly if they're going to want to get it done. At this moment in time, there's an absolute drama fest going on between Shrewsbury Town and Notts County. It is 3-3. Shrewsbury thought they scored a 4th, but that one was disallowed. But it is an absolute thriller between Shrewsbury and Notts County. Neither side want to go out, but at the moment one of them has to go out tonight, and we'll see who that will be a bit later on. A 4th goal for Blackpool to tell you about. So they've certainly certified their place in the second round. They've added a 4th this evening. Finnegan opened the scoring, and Pennington with a brace at this moment in time had them 3-0 up, and they've just scored a 4th. Blackpool will confirm that goal scorer for you in a second. Right, back here to Bramall Lane is Sheffield United 3, Wrexham 1. Wrexham took the lead, but since then Sheffield United have scored all 3 goals and now they want to add a 4th to really dead the game. Here's a chance for Hampson, and his cross is just a bit too far ahead of the man arriving late there in the box for Sheffield United, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Decent effort, lovely spin, nice ball out to the right flank. The gap is massive in the Wrexham defence, and Hampson just spins his way around the defender, gets into the box, tries to square it across, but just puts too much pace on it, and it's just too far away from the man arriving late in the box there for Sheffield United, and it comes to nothing. Right, so it is still 3-1. By the way, Blackpool's 4th goal was scored by, if I can get that for you, Lee Evans, not the comedian, but Lee Evans has scored a 4th goal for Blackpool tonight in that one, so it is 4-0. Pretty comfortable. And a goal at Carrow Road. We said to you that Norwich had given themselves a bit of comfort, a bit of a kind of cushion of a lead. Well, no more. It is 4-3, and Stevenage back in the game, but little over a couple of minutes left of the 90. Brad Hill's own goal has got Stevenage back in it. It's Norwich 4, Stevenage 3. Not an easy night for Championship Norwich, but they're going to have to work till the very death if they're going to want to get through to the second round. It is 4-3. Goodness me, we're having no time to take breaths, no time to relax. Incredible. Incredible tonight. it's been a wonderful evening. We'll also confirm the final score from Hampden Park between Rangers and Dynamo Kyiv very, very shortly. They're into added time there. They're into added time in all but one of our 7:45s. That game at Carrow Road is just into the 90th minute, but they're all coming to a close. We can confirm to you now, Watford in our feature games have just finished. They have beaten MK Dons by 5-0. Very convincing for Tom Cleverley's side. They're through to the second round. Watford are through 5-0 victors at Vicarage Road tonight. A really easy one to watch for Watford. MK Dons of League 2 are out at the first round. I don't want to jinx it, but there are one of those scorelines on the left-hand side of your screen that I'm not going to mention until the final whistle goes, because I do not want to annoy any Fleetwood fans, but you can guess what one that is. Right, so that game between Watford and MK Dons is done. Wrexham still want to have a late flurry here. Here's Marriott into the box. The ball across is cleared away. That time Fletcher was the target. Marriott put the cross in and Trusty cleared it away. Wrexham not done and dusted here yet. Remember, it is only 3-1. It's not the end of the world. They get a goal. There's still quite a bit of time in this one. 14 minutes plus the additional time to come. There is still time for Wrexham to scrape something out of this tonight, if they can. As the ball back into the box, the cut back again. Not fully cleared by Suter, as Wrexham couldn't get on the end of that one. And that one goes out for a throw-in. Was a deflection, so maybe a bit of headroom. Maybe something, a bit of momentum going their way as the ball comes back into the box. Again, having to be hooked away by Sheffield United defenders. And it will be a corner this time for Wrexham. Anybody knows Hollywood movies, when it looks like they're down and out, the underdog, they always find a way back. Is that going to be the story tonight for Wrexham? Or will they just be overdone by the better team? As the cross comes in, palmed away by Gerbic, still alive though, as the ball comes out to the right hand side for a throw into Wrexham. 13 minutes to go, and they're trying to push for that second goal that would really close this game back up again. Final score at Pirelli Stadium tonight. Burton down to 10 from very early on, and they have lost by 4-0. Blackpool are through to the second round. 4-0 victors. Very comfortable victory for Blackpool tonight. A third goal for Swansea at the Swansea.com Stadium. So Gillingham did get one back, 10-man Gillingham, but it looks like Swansea will see that one through. It is 3-1 now in that one, into the 96th minute of time there. Lots of games coming to a close. And as I said, we'll have the full roster of all the scores and all the teams through to the second round at conclusion tonight. And you'll not want to miss that, because we'll have the comprehensive final scores from all of tonight's 32 ties, plus we have 3 more to come tomorrow for you. It is going to be fantastic for the rest of this evening. Let's see what Wrexham can do as they try to come down the right-hand side again. Bolton looking to find some of those bodies in the box as the cross comes in this time. Fletcher was the target again, but cleared away. I have to say, when those changes were made, that triple change from Wrexham, they are a bit more attacking focused. I mean, they've no choice but to be more attacking now. Debutants Bramall have been knocked out of the competition at the first time of asking tonight. A narrow defeat at home to AFC Wimbledon for Bramall sees them drop out of the EFL Cup for the very first time in their history, but a real good fight at it, and we welcome them to the EFL. Good to have them in the competition, but they are going out tonight. Same for Gillingham. As Swansea have won by 3-1 at Swansea.com Stadium. Swansea 3-1 winners there in that one. Derby have done the job after coming from behind against Chesterfield. It is Derby 2, Chesterfield 1 is the final score from that one as well tonight, as there are 4 games still underway. Shrewsbury and Notts County has gone to penalties. I said that was 3-3. It's gone to penalties, and a couple of games going to penalties, and we'll confirm the final scores from those when we have them for you. As Sheffield United are going to make another change, Andre Brooks is going to come on, and he's going to replace Owen Hampson, the Welshman. Final score in the All League One tie between Charlton and Birmingham. No advantage there for Charlton in the end. They are beaten at home by a 1-0. Birmingham, who were down to 10 for quite a distance of that second half, for about 12-15 minutes of the second half. Charlton couldn't make it count, and it's Charlton 0, Birmingham City 1, the final score. So Birmingham have gone through as well. Three of our 7:45 ties still to conclude tonight. We'll get those final scores for you in a moment or two when they finish, as Wrexham have a ball in behind, and Gerbich had committed himself, and he did very, very, very well to sense the danger and deal with the situation. Sweeper keeping at its finest. Final score from Deepdale. Preston got their first win of the season, managerless after their first defeat at home to Sheffield United on Friday night in the Championship. But their first round of the EFL Cup sees them knock out Sunderland, who won at the weekend. Preston 2, Sunderland 0 at Deepdale. And Norwich have hung on in there and have got the victory away at home to Stevenage. A 7-goal thriller at Carrow Road. A backed and forth battle. Norwich felt they sealed the deal with Hernandez with the fourth goal of the night, 4-2 lead. But an own goal from Hills late on in the game looked to cause a bit of concern for Norwich, but enough was enough, and they dealt with the situation and got through. It is Norwich 4, Stevenage 3, a final score, so Norwich are through. But there's one game still underway, and I'm not going to mention it because it's the 99th minute and they're still playing. We'll get the final score from that in a matter of seconds, and it has just come through. We have our first big shock and upset of the competition. Sheffield United are in behind, nothing coming of that. We have our first big upset of the competition. League 2 Fleetwood Town have knocked out Championship West Brom in the first round. They came from behind Fleetwood. Fowl had given West Brom the lead before Graydon and Coughlin, first half goals, secured the victory ultimately in the end for Fleetwood. What a performance and an incredible result for Fleetwood Town. Fleetwood 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Wonderful. An upset of the highest order. Here comes Sheffield United again. A chance. Big save by Burton. That would have really finalised the scoreline and the result. Still alive at 3-1 though. Koulibaly. Here's City Peck again. Out wide it comes. Sheffield United pushing for that fourth that really would round it up. Final score from the Champions League third round qualifying. As Rangers are knocked out by Dynamo Kyiv. They drew 1-1 in the first leg, but a 2-0 defeat at home, or at their auxiliary home ground tonight of Hampden Park sees Rangers lose by 2-0 and knocked out of Champions League qualifying. So Dynamo Kyiv will progress. They will face RB Salzburg in the playoff round for a place in the main stage of the Champions League. Rangers are out. Right, so the only one of our feature games that we've kept an eye on all night is this one. At Bramall Lane, Sheffield United 3, Wrexham 1. As the only games in the EFL Cup that are still underway are those going to penalties, which we have 6 games going to penalties. We'll bring you those final scores and all the scores of the final 32 ties when we get the final whistle here at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 3, Wrexham 1, and United looking for another as a deflected shot goes behind for the corner. Sheffield United pushing for that fourth. Really pushing for it late on here. Just trying to keep the ball up the field. Wrexham had a good chance at the other end. Well, not a good chance, but a good bit of pressure on the Gerbich, and he almost stumbled and almost gave them a gift of a goal, but ultimately got away with it. It did Gerbich. As the corner comes in, back post headed on, and the keeper doesn't clear it, and it's bundled in, and that will do that for Sheffield United tonight. It looked tough when Wrexham took the lead early in the first half, but their class and quality has shone through tonight, and Sheffield United will be heading into the second round of the Carabao Cup. The Hollywood storyline the script has been ripped up by the Blades tonight. They've sliced it to pieces, and Sheffield United lead by 4-1, and they have certainly put this one to bed tonight. From the corner, header at the back post. The keeper tries to scramble for it to keep it out. It bounces back out into the 6-yard box, and there's a poacher in there to finish it off, and that was Slimani, who adds a goal to his already positive and strong performance tonight for Sheffield United. And Slimani joins a couple of other players in finding the net for Sheffield United tonight. And with 5 minutes of normal time to go, it is Sheffield United 4, Wrexham 1. And I'm sure Wrexham will know the game is over, the tie is done, but at the same time, for the majority of this game, to be honest, they have been very positive, and their performance has been positive, and I'm sure Phil Parkinson will take a lot of positives out of this one, as they've had a really good chance. Gerbich with a wonderful save for Sheffield United, and that is a really good effort. Lovely cross into the box, and the late run again, Sheffield United far too complacent in the box there. Gilchrist on his heels, and that should be a goal for Wrexham. Trying to see, I think it was Revan again. Revan just arriving late into the box. Gilchrist hasn't a clue that he's coming, and his shot tested Gerbich. Will be a corner as the header in is a cross goal and wide from Wrexham there. But again, Revan certainly making a nuisance of himself in the box there for Wrexham, just not getting the benefit of it ultimately, and it's still 4-1. Phil Parkinson there on the sideline. I'm sure it won't be a massive criticism of his side tonight. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with a couple of the goals that they have conceded, avoidable opportunities, avoidable goals that, you know, they would have wanted to be stronger at defending, but, you know, at times it's fine margins that can really differentiate. I mean, a couple of those goals, a deflection, a penalty save that was rebounded in, that one was just an unfortunate rebound from the keeper. That's 3 goals tonight that ultimately Wrexham would count themselves unlucky at conceding, but that's the difference. I said it's minimal, it's fine margins at the top level, and Sheffield United have got the benefit of that, maybe a bit of luck, but you know, we look at the scoreline. If those 3 goals hadn't went in, I mean, if, buts and maybes and all that, but you know, 3 goals hadn't have went in, it would have been 1-1, and we would have been probably heading to penalties, where at the moment there are penalties underway, multiple other stadiums that we can tell you about, and we can get the final scores from a couple of those coming through to us very, very momentarily from those 7:45 kickoffs. The games gone to penalties at the moment are underway. Bolton and Mansfield are in a penalty shootout at this moment in time. I'm actually unsure as to what the score is in that penalty shootout, because it doesn't tell me. That's fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. But it was 1-1 between Bolton and Mansfield after the 90 minutes. Of course, a reminder that all the EFL Cup ties up until the semi-finals, so all 5 rounds, will head straight to penalties. There's no extra time. Straight to penalties if the games are level after 90 minutes. That's not something we need to worry about here tonight, unless Wrexham score 3 goals in the next couple of minutes, which I would hint at being unlikely. But we will see what comes of the ultimate scorelines over the next few rounds, which Wrexham won't be finding themselves involved in. Sheffield United will be, and they want to add a 5th here tonight as the ball comes across. Easily gathered by Callum Burton. Well, what's next for these 2 teams then? Well, Sheffield United back in Championship action at the weekend in 4 days' time. On Saturday afternoon, they host QPR in their first Championship home game of the season. Queen's Park Rangers coming off a defeat at home in their first game of the new season, and tonight winning in the Cup, QPR, so they've got that winning feeling this evening, and they head to Bramall Lane this Saturday. At Wrexham Well, they did get their season off to a winning start at the weekend, and they head to Bolton Wanderers. Bolton at the weekend on Sunday at 3 o'clock. So they've an extra day of rest on the day of official rest, according to a Sunday. At 3 o'clock on Sunday, they head to Bolton in League One. As we hit the 90-minute mark here at Bramall Lane, Sheffield United 4, Wrexham 1. And there will be, I'm waiting on the official confirmation, building the anticipation. Still awaiting on the official confirmation of added time here. 4 minutes, there we go. Took their time. 4 added minutes at the end of the 90 then. Wrexham fighting till the very death. They'll get a free kick here. A reminder, once this game comes to a close, we'll update you and we'll secure all the final scores from every single tie that has taken place tonight. 32 ties, and we'll tell you the 32 teams that have booked their place in the next round. Remember, 3 games tomorrow to come for you, and then, of course, there will be 50 teams in the second round in the draw, which takes place tomorrow night after the Leeds-Middlesbrough game that we will have commentary of, and we will have the full details of that draw for you tomorrow night after the full-time whistle at Elland Road. So, that's to come tomorrow night. Right, and we'll give you the details of all of that a bit later on this evening, as that's a late challenge on Peck, and he will get the free kick there for Sheffield United. Yeah, I think the ball had actually gone out of play there. Yeah, it did. It's not a free kick, it's actually a throw-in to Sheffield United. Wrexham playing out of the back again. Brunt conceded that own goal earlier on. Down the right hand side it comes. Wrexham maybe won a bit of a consolation late here as the cross comes into the box. Trusty got there with his head, a trusty header. Although the overhead kick has just gone wide. Goodness me. Wasn't the cleanest of headers from Trusty. He did put it in the air, but it was Fletcher that had the overhead kick. Just see it again. The cross comes in. Trusty half clears it. It falls right back down, and Stephen Fletcher just tries to go for the overhead kick, but he was off target. Wasn't going to threaten the keeper whatsoever, but certainly got us a bit excited for a moment or two there before that one was finalised. Just a minute and a half or so to go here at Bramall Lane. Wrexham certainly not giving up their chance of trying to score a second goal as they played another ball in behind there. Certainly committing bodies forward. Here's a chance. Lovely ball fed through. Here's Revan through the legs of the keeper. And it is a consolation goal for Wrexham. Be nothing more than that. But Revan has got the goal. He's popped up a couple of times in the box tonight. And he's got his goal. It won't be enough for Wrexham to try and conjure up a comeback. But it certainly will be a good goal to take back. I mean, it means nothing, but it's a goal nonetheless. And Revan can at least say that he scored in the Carabao Cup. There you are. That's something he can take back with him. To Wales. There's been a bit of afters in the aftermath of that goal being scored. A couple of players tussling and battling in the nets. And the referee's just pulled out the yellow card and has got a lot to deal with here, this referee this evening. Keith Stroud. He's had a decent night. I mean, it's been an easy game to referee, but he's refereed it well. And the man that gets that goal, Sebastian Revan. Again, I said it, Wrexham weren't stopping at throwing bodies forward. They kept bodies up the field, and they got into a really good area. Again, Sheffield United far too easy to break through. And Revan, again, unmarked down that left-hand side. I mean, they've defended him awfully tonight. All night, Revan's had the freedom in that left flank, and he just arrives in the box. Really nice ball, and he just slides it through the keeper's legs, Gerbic, to get a second for Wrexham. And then it's absolutely turned into a brawl in the net between a number of players. Just see this again. It's comical at the very best. I mean, we do not condone any of this, but it's comical how crazy that is. It's just all grappling each other. It's pointless. Get a grip of yourself. Well, pardon the pun. Get a grip of yourself, not someone else. In the box there. Right, so Revan gets a consolation goal for Wrexham, and that is the final whistle. Chris Wilder's side do book their place in the second round of the Carabao Cup. Wrexham scored the first goal and the last goal of the night, but either side of that, Sheffield United slotted 4 and had a comfortable night ultimately in the end. A bit of a difficult first half, but they came out and showed their class in the second, and that has booked them a place in the next round of the Carabao Cup. Austin Trusty got the equaliser after William Boyle gave Wrexham the lead. The second goal for Sheffield United to give them the lead was a Lewis Brunt own goal. Ryan Brewster then had a penalty saved, but the follow-up was sent into the net by Louis Marsh before a fourth scored by Anas Slimani. Before the final score, or the final goal of the night, came from Sebastian Revan in the 93rd minute to give Wrexham a consolation. They topped and tailed the scoring tonight, but they are going to be heading back to Wales with nothing. They exit the Carabao Cup at the very first round. It was always going to be a tough tie tonight, but Sheffield United certainly didn't have it all their own way and certainly didn't have an easy run of it. Final score from Bramall Lane in the Carabao Cup. First round, Sheffield United 4, Wrexham 2. And that is the final score tonight, and we have 32 teams into the next round of the Carabao Cup confirmed tonight. 3 to come tomorrow night, plus of course the 15 teams that will be joining us. 2 teams in the Championship, Luton and Burnley, and the 13 teams not competing in the in European football in the Premier League in the second round. Right then, let's round it all up for you then. The final scores all coming through to us. Let's start with the 7:30 kickoffs this evening. There is still one game underway at the moment in penalties at the moment between Grimsby and Bradford. That penalty shootout is still ongoing at that one. There has been about 15 penalties between the two teams still ongoing. So by the time we get to that one, which is quite far down our list, hopefully that game has come to an end. Those are our selected fixtures on the screen, but here are the comprehensive results from the first round of the Carabao Cup. Carlisle have been beaten 2-0 by Stoke City. Stoke through to the next round. Leyton Orient have beaten Newport County by 4-1. Leyton Orient are through. Blackburn made easy work of Stockport on the road, winning by 6-1. Barrow beat Port Vale by 3-2. A narrow game, a narrow win for Barrow against Port Vale. 3-2 victors in that one. It took penalties for Bolton to book their place in the second round as they beat Mansfield on spot kicks. It was 1-1 after 90 minutes. Bolton missing 2 of their first 4 penalties, but Mansfield had scored 3 of their first 3. They missed their last 2 of the 5. It went into sudden death at 3-3 after 5 spot kicks each. Bolton scored both of theirs, and Mansfield missed the last penalty. It finished 5-4 on spot kicks, and Bolton going through. Just one goal between Bristol City and Coventry. Coventry progressed. Ellis Sims with the only goal of that game to secure the second round place for Coventry. A close game between debutants Bromley and AFC Wimbledon. Bromley took the lead in that one, the debutants, but a goal either side of the half from AFC Wimbledon secured their place in the second round. Burton were beaten comfortably in the end against Blackpool. This game was the last game that was 0-0 on the night. It was the last game to have the first goal of the night in it, and Blackpool went on to score 4 in the final 21 minutes of the game to secure their place against 10-man Burton into the second round. Burton 0, Blackpool 4. Cambridge also beaten at home by QPR. QPR took a 2-goal lead before Cambridge clawed one back in the second half, but they held on Queen's Park Rangers to get their first win of the domestic season after they were beaten at home on the first championship game of the season, QPR winning by 2-1. Cardiff, they bounced back from a 2-0 defeat at the weekend at home to win 2-0 at home against Bristol Rovers. 2 goals coming in the second half, the first in the 68th minute and a 91st minute second goal secured the victory for Cardiff City. They're through to the second round. Birmingham left it a very nervy end in that one. They took a lead in the first half, a lovely goal by Brendan Kella to give them the lead, but they were down to 10 in the last 15 minutes, which made it nervy towards the end. Charlton had chances, but they couldn't find that ultimate goal, and it finished Charlton 0, Birmingham City 1. Colchester and Reading, well, they held it close. Colchester had a 2-goal lead in that one. Tom Hopper and Jack Payne on the score sheet before clawed all the way back by Reading to 2-2, bringing it 2 penalties before Colchester won on penalties. They scored all 4 of their penalties to win 4-3, Colchester, and that is another upset on the night to progress to the next round. Wonderful for Colchester. Crawley Town have found their way through to the second round after they beat Swindon by 4-2 in that one. They took the only goal of the first half before a flurry of goals, 5 to be exact, in the second half. It was 2-2 at one point before 2 late goals in the final few minutes secured the victory for Crawley Town, finishing by 4-2. Derby had to come from behind against Chesterfield to win. Armando Dobra put Chesterfield into the lead in the first half. Liam Thompson equalised before Caden Jackson scored the winner for Derby County, and Paul Warren has the victory that sees Derby into the second round. The biggest upset of the night surely sees Fleetwood Town of League 2 beat West Bromwich Albion of the Championship in the first round. Two goals from Fleetwood in the first half, but they had to respond from going behind. Mo Fall gave West Brom the lead before Ryan Graydon and Ronan Coughlin secured the victory for League 2 Fleetwood. A massive upset for the League 2 side, who have knocked out the Championship side this evening. I did say Grimsby and Bradford was ongoing in penalty shootouts. Well, it has come to an end. They drew 1-1 in 90 minutes. Donovan Wilson with the first goal that gave Grimsby the lead before Andy Cook levelled things in the second half for Bradford, before it went all the way to penalties, and it went a fair distance. It looked like the goalkeepers were going to take penalties at one point, but it did finish. It did come to a conclusion. Grimsby, who missed their first penalty of the night, went on to score all of their next 9 and ultimately won the shootout by 9 penalties to 8. 9-8 on penalties sees Grimsby through to the next round. Huddersfield made an easier work of it against 10-man Morecambe. They won 3-0, all 3 goals coming in the first half for Huddersfield. The red card came late in the game, and that really just sealed the deal for Huddersfield on the night. They are through to the next round. Lincoln beaten at home 2-1 against Harrogate. Harrogate had a 2-goal lead before a late penalty for Lincoln made it a bit nervy, but it wasn't enough to stop Harrogate progressing to the next round. Harrogate through 2-1. Wycombe 2-0 winners away at Northampton Town. They did go down to 10 late on in that game, Wycombe, but they had already done the job. 2 goals in the first half secured their place in the second round. Norwich, well, it was a ping-pong match between Norwich and Stevenage. Championship side against League 2 Stevenage. It was back and forth in that one before Norwich took a 4-2 lead. It was then a bit nervy towards the end as Brad Hill's own goal gave Stevenage a late goal to make it 4-3, but Norwich held in there and got the result. Oxford are the next team to find their way through. They beat Norwich at the weekend in the Championship 2-0. Well, they won 2-0 here tonight against Peterborough United in that one. Both goals coming in the first half for Oxford United, and they're through to the next round. Millwall needed just 1 goal away at Portsmouth. Portsmouth, the newly promoted Championship side, they held Leeds to a 3-3 draw at the weekend. Millwall beaten at home at the weekend, but different results for these two sides tonight, as Romain S's goal was enough to see Millwall through to the second round of the Carabao Cup. That goal coming in the 13th minute, and that was the only goal of the game. Preston 2-0 winners at home against Sunderland, as I mentioned. Goal either side of the half saw managerless Preston through to the second round, beating Sunderland in that all-championship tie. Rotherham won 2-1 at home to Crewe after they were behind in the second half. Goalless at half-time, but Rotherham went behind before having to win it in the 86th minute to secure their place in the second round. Rotherham 2, Crewe 1. Salford started with a defeat at the weekend, and they are continuing on the same vein. They were beaten 2-0 at home against Doncaster Rovers tonight in the first round of the Carabao Cup. Billy Sharp opened the scoring for Luke Molyneux, scored the ultimate second that secured the win in the 91st minute to knock Salford out at the first round. Another penalty shootout game between Shrewsbury and Notts County. It was a real ding-dong battle between those two clubs in the first round this evening. 2 goals from in the first half from Notts County secured their 2-goal lead, but clawed back and turned all the way round by Shrewsbury, who went 3-2 up with 6 minutes to go before a Alassane Yatta goal in the 89th minute got the equaliser for Notts County. 3-3 after 90 minutes. Went to penalties, and ultimately it finished Shrewsbury the victors, winning by 4 penalties to 3 in the shootouts. Swansea have beaten Gillingham by 3-1. Swansea through. It was a 1-goal lead they had in the first half before Gillingham went down to 10. Ewan Williams with a red card before Swansea then secured the deal. Liam Cullen got a second before Oliver Hawkins got one back for Gillingham, but the damage was done. Azim Abdullahi scored the third to secure the victory for Swans. Tranmere Rovers had a comfortable victory tonight at home against Accrington. A 3-0 victory for them secures their place in the third round. They missed a penalty in that one as well, but 3 goals on the night and nothing from Accrington sees Tranmere Rovers through to the second round. Walsall needed penalties to beat Exeter tonight after a 1-1 draw in 90 minutes. Walsall actually conceded early in that one in the first half. They missed a penalty before they scored in the 93rd minute to level things. Walsall and then that took them to penalties, and they scored 4 of their 5 penalties to win 4-3 in the shootout to secure their place in the second round. More comfortable for Watford then, as they won 5-0 against MK Dons. A comfortable night for Tom Cleverley's side, who left it late against Millwall at the weekend in the Championship to win 3-2. But a much more comfortable 5-goal game for them this week in midweek, as they won by 5-0. And the final over 7:45 kickoffs in their 31st tie of the night sees Wigan beaten by Barnsley. Barnsley through to the next round after a 1-1 draw in 90 minutes. Penalties it was needed in that one, and winning 4-2 on penalties in the end, Barnsley secured the victory. And Sheffield United progressed to the second round after beating Wrexham by 4-2. That is us through and ultimately confirmed that this game, the first round, 32 ties down, 3 to come, and a lot of action to come your way. The teams through to the next round are as follows: Stoke, Leyton Orient, Blackburn, Barrow, Bolton, Coventry, Wimbledon, Blackpool, QPR, Cardiff, Birmingham, Colchester, Crawley, Derby, Fleetwood, Grimsby, Huddersfield, Harrogate, Wycombe, Norwich, Oxford, Millwall, Preston, Rotherham, Doncaster, Shrewsbury, Swansea, Tranmere Rovers, Walsall, Watford, Barnsley and Sheffield United. Tomorrow we watch 2 Championship sides slug it out at Ellen Road, as Leeds United looking to bounce back from that 3-3 draw that they had to rescue at times against Portsmouth, at the weekend at Ellen Road. But they're back at home again under the lights, and those Ellen Road crowd will be riling them on against Middlesbrough, who did get victory on the opening weekend of the season at home to Swansea, winning by 1-0. And Michael Carrick's side, who got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup last year, will look to do and follow that same feat, but they'll have a tough task, a trip to Ellen Road tomorrow night. Also tomorrow night we'll have the second round draw for you. 50 teams in that draw, 25 ties to pick out, and we'll have all the results, all the ties decided for you, and the final whistle at Ellen Road, and you'll stay with us tomorrow night for that. Fantastic. 2 other games to come for you tomorrow night as well, as Hull take on Sheffield Wednesday and Plymouth against Cheltenham are 2 other ties. Also we'll have updates from the Super Cup as Real Madrid take on Atalanta tomorrow night, and a chance for one of the Real Madrid Luka Modric, to become the most decorated Real Madrid player in history if the Atalanta are beaten tomorrow night. The Champions League winners against the Europa League winners, that's tomorrow night as well. Lots to come, but that is it for us tonight here on LFS. I hope you've enjoyed this. 32 ties down, 3 to go, and 32 teams have booked their place into the second round. The dream of a Wembley day out is still on for 32 teams. For the other 32, it's now night. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.